Hello, my name's John Wadsworth. I'm an astrologer and these are my thoughts. Just a few thoughts really for 2014. We're at New Year's Eve, New Year's Day tomorrow, and here we are faced with a new moon to begin the year. A powerful seed of intent to start the year, and what a powerful lineup of planets. Sun and Moon in Capricorn, conjunct of course on the new moon, but with Pluto and Mercury exactly aligned in that sign, with Mars square exactly to Pluto at the moment of the new moon. It doesn't get more intense than that really, and Mars is in Libra. It spends most of the first half of the year in Libra, but it's just lining straight up with Pluto just to begin the year, you know, so anything unresolved from the last year will just come to the fore to be dealt with right at the beginning of the year. There's no let up here. It's compulsive, it can even be obsessive, there's an intensity, everything's lined up. Anything which is not been expressed, which is just sitting down deep in the pit of your stomach, just wants to burst out to be dealt with. There's no getting around it. There's no hiding from the truth at the moment. There's just a ruthless desire to get to the bottom of things here. Uranus is in Aries, in square to this whole configuration. Jupiter's in Cancer. There's actually a grand cross, 4 planets. The 4 main planets involved here, Mars, Uranus, Pluto and Jupiter, they're lining up again in April, around the 23rd, 24th of April, in the middle of the eclipse season that we have in April this year, which is particularly intense, something to look out for around that date. On 13 degrees, those 4 planets will line up in the cardinal signs. So we have a taste of it here, and I think it's, you know, whatever's been coming through from 2013 in relationships, in integrity around family, money, all of these issues are just writ large as we begin the year. So we're going to have to begin with some really powerful intentions. Those resolutions are going to have to really come from a deep place within us if we're going to progress effectively through the year. Could be a great year of transformation, a great year of change, but don't expect your life to look like it does at the beginning of the year, at the end of the year. This could be where things really get churned up and get turned around, if they're not in truth. This is about living in truth, and Saturn remains in Scorpio for the whole year. We've got to get to the deep pathologies within ourselves. We've got to deal with those addictions, with those deep fears that run our lives, that are at the core of us. Saturn moves into Sagittarius at the very end of the year, but remains. It does a retrograde period for 3 months, from March to June. Jupiter is also retrograde at the moment, as is Venus. We begin the year with both Venus and Jupiter, the 2 benefics, both retrograde. So, you know, we're having to unravel in relationships. We're having to reflect deeply on the way that we grow, on the way that we go forward in life. It's not clear as we start the year necessarily. We have to go through this period of reflection, retrospection, with Venus and Jupiter retrograde. Venus goes direct again at the end of January. Jupiter goes direct again in March, just as Mars and Saturn both go retrograde. So there's a change of emphasis in March, and I think that will be quite a significant month. April, very significant. Jupiter changes sign, leaves Cancer in July. It goes into Leo. By the end of the year, we have both Jupiter and Saturn in fire signs. But Jupiter spends the next half of the year still in Cancer. Family stuff, you know, learning, growing through a real kind of connection, feeling into the roots, the origins, what sustains us, nurtures us, protects us, keeps us here. That's Jupiter in Cancer. It's a good place for Jupiter. But this retrograde phase, things are not as clear as they might have been before November when it turned direction. So yeah, a lot going on. The Uranus-Pluto square, which is we were in the middle of over this 3-year period between 2012 and 2015, that lines up again in April on this very powerful Grand Cross alignment at 13 degrees of the cardinal signs. There's a lot happening. It's a busy year, and it's all about getting to the truth. We have to get to the truth. We have to get to it in ourselves. We have to deal with it collectively now, because what's unsustainable is the impact of that is both personally and collectively is really the thing which we've got to face. I wish you well. I wish you a happy new year. I hope it goes well for you. I'll try and post some more of these video blogs through the year, and You can find out more about my work at www.kairosastrology.co.uk. I offer personal consultations and courses. I teach astrology for beginners and for more advanced students here in Glastonbury. You can find out details on the website about that as well. I wish you well.